In a small town in Texas lived a man named Daniel Brooks. His life was falling apart. His wife had left him, he'd lost his job at the factory, and the bank was just days away from taking his house. He spent most of his days in a small roadside diner, just staring out the window with a cup of cold coffee in his hands. One evening, an old woman came and sat down at his table. She wore a torn coat and looked incredibly tired. "Can I sit here?" she asked gently. Daniel just nodded, lost in his thoughts. After a moment of silence, she looked at him and said, "You look like someone who has lost everything." Daniel let out a sad laugh. "That's because I have." The old woman's expression didn't change. "I lost my home in a fire," she said softly. "My husband passed away years ago, and my children live far, far away." Daniel was surprised. He looked at her and said, "But you don't seem angry or broken." She smiled a gentle, knowing smile. "Oh, I was. Until I learned something important." She reached into her pocket and pulled out a small, worn notebook. "This," she said, "is my thank you list. Every night, no matter what, I write down 5 things I'm thankful for, even on the very worst days." Daniel just shook his head. "That's not going to fix my problems," she replied. "It won't fix your problems, but it will fix you." She placed the notebook on the table in front of him. "Try it for just 7 days," she said, and then she stood up and walked away. That night, alone in his quiet house, Daniel opened the notebook. He whispered to himself, "Thank you." For what? After a long, hard think, he wrote, 1. Thank you for this bed. 2. Thank you for the food I had today. 3. Thank you for being alive. 4. Thank you for my hands. 5. Thank you for another day. It felt strange, almost silly, but that night he slept better than he had in months. On the 3rd day, Daniel was rejected from another job. His first instinct was to throw the notebook in the trash. He was filled with anger and frustration, but instead he forced himself to open it and write, 1. Thank you for the strength to keep going. 2. Thank you for the fresh air outside. 3. Thank you for this cup of coffee. 4. Thank you for a tiny sliver of hope. And 5. Thank you for tomorrow. His problems were all still there, but his heart felt just a little bit lighter. On the 5th day, a heavy storm slammed the town. Rain flooded the streets, and water started seeping into his house. Daniel stood in the middle of his living room, shaking. His first thought was, "This is it. This is the end." But then his eyes fell on the little notebook sitting on the table. With trembling hands, he picked it up and wrote, 1. Thank you for warning me in time. 2. Thank you for my legs to run. 3. Thank you for my neighbors who helped. 4. Thank you that I am alive. And 5. Thank you for patience. That night, he stayed in a local shelter. While he was there, he started helping serve food to others. A man named Mr. Carter noticed him working hard. "You've got a good work ethic," he said. "What do you do for a living?" Daniel replied. "I fix machines." Mr. Carter smiled. "My workshop needs a helper." For the first time in months, a genuine spark of hope ignited inside Daniel. A week after their first meeting, Daniel went back to the diner. The old woman was sitting in the exact same spot. He walked over and gave her back the notebook. She looked up at him and asked, "Did it work?" Daniel smiled. "My life didn't change in 7 days. But I did." He paused, then added, "I stopped asking, 'Why me?' and I started saying, 'Thank you.'" The old woman smiled, that same gentle smile. "That's how destiny changes quietly," she said, and walked away. Daniel never saw her again. Months later, Daniel was working full-time at Mr. Carter's repair shop. On the wall, he hung a small sign that said, "Write what you are thankful for." Every single night, he still wrote 5 things in his own notebook. Not because his life was suddenly perfect, but because his heart was finally at peace. The moral of this story is simple. Complaining makes our pain heavier, but gratitude makes our pain lighter. When we can find things to be thankful for even in the hardest times, we stop feeling like victims and start becoming stronger. So from today, I want you to try this. Every night, just write down 5 things you're thankful for. Not because life is easy, but because you are still here to live it. Sometimes gratitude doesn't change the situation, it changes the person. And that, my friends, can change everything. Thanks for watching.